Welcome back to the Comic Dudes, a podcast about comic books and comic book related things. If you've been with us for a while, you may have noticed the last few episodes we haven't really done any news segments. That's by design. The design is Matt and I have been very, very busy in our personal lives, and we had to shorten the episodes a little bit. Sorry. But to make it up to you, this episode is dedicated to nothing but the news. But we're not reporting the news because it's all old. You've probably heard some of this before, maybe all of it, if you're really into the fandom. So it's more about us reacting to news. We've got 4 noteworthy, newsworthy things that have happened in the last several weeks, and we're gonna talk about them for a little bit.
For sure. So the first thing, getting back to the comic book nature of our podcast, the first one's definitely comic book related, and this is something I have been pretty excited to hear the outcome of where 2 specific IPs are going. So the 2
We've
IPs
talked about this before.
We've talked about this before. So the 2 IPs, and I think we even predicted this, and I think a lot of people did possibly prognosticate or predict where this was going to go. But the 2 IPs that I'm talking about are Transformers and G.I. Joe. They were most recently at IDW, and IDW has now been relegated to the back of the previews section when it used to be a very prominent catalog.
It's tough to be at IDW right now. I mean, this is probably the only thing keeping that company going is Ninja Turtles.
Yes, 100%.
That is it.
My Little Pony's big, but
are there enough people buying My Little Pony comics?
I think there's.
I don't know. That's a
community out there.
legitimate question.
I don't know. But definitely losing Transformers and G.I. Joe, like that was a big hit.
Matt, where are they going?
So, they are, long story short, to bury the lead. You have like,
get on with it.
Transformers and G.I. Joe are going to Skybound Entertainment under the Robert Kirkman umbrella. Dave, did you see how this was actually revealed? Do you know how this was revealed at all?
What the heck was that? That
didn't sound like a Transformer. I liked it.
What is it doing? It's screwed up. It was supposed to be the Transformer sound.
It sounded like it on my end a little bit. I don't know. But regardless.
That was disappointing.
It's okay. We're work in progress here. Did you see how this was revealed? By any chance?
Did not.
So, I have not made it to the comic book store yet, but I will make it there. I think in a mutual title we are both getting this new book called Void Rivals by Robert Kirkman that you actually were like, dude, did you see there's a Kirkman book? You need to get it.
Yes.
This book might become a key issue because at the end of the Void Rivals book, there is a reveal for these 2 series.
How?
So that I don't know exactly how because I haven't read it. I don't know if it's just an ad or I don't know if it's actually a story beat that's actually in this book.
Okay. Hold on. If it's a story reveal, the way that Void Rivals was solicited was that this is the first book in a shared connected universe.
Yes.
Give me G.I. Joe and Transformers in the same universe. Please, Rob. Please.
Really? Okay.
I would love that if that was the case.
So, I have seen things on the internet. I will give Bleeding Cool their credit, which is kind of a comic book gossip news site, but they do have scoops a lot. So they had actually taken a picture of the solicitation or the posters that were sent out to comic store retailers. I can confirm to you live on the air that this is going to be called the Energon universe, and G.I. Joe and Transformers are going to be in the same universe.
Are you holding out on us?
What do you mean, why am I holding out on you?
Why were you holding out? Why didn't you share this information
I didn't
from
know
the
if you
get-go?
would actually like that. I don't know if you... I've never read like any of the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover books. I didn't know if you would.
They crossed over in the cartoons, too.
Well,
this is canon, baby. This is a canon event that I do want to save.
Exactly. I was going to say the canon timeline. You're not for the canon timeline anymore. So,
I am in this case.
Okay. So I can confirm that they're going to actually be in the same universe. So Transformers #1 comes out in October, and then I think they might be taking some time off or something, but on the poster it says the beginning of the Energon universe, and it says Transformers #1, October of this year, 2023. Duke #1, December of 2023.
Duke #1.
Yep, and then a Cobra Commander in January of 2024. I don't know if like Transformers is going to be coming out in November, December. I don't know. It's just like those are one of the #1 issues that are being spotlighted.
The way you got me, then lost me, then got me, then lost me. Why aren't we doing a G.I. Joe book? I don't need a Duke and a Cobra Commander book.
I don't know.
Robert, please.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do. You just don't know it.
No, I'm telling you I don't. I need one monthly G.I. Joe book. That's all I need.
These are probably just setting up the characters, though, in this new universe.
Who the hell doesn't know who these are?
So this is
everybody knows.
This is much like the 2008. My experience with I'm more a G.I. Joe guy than Transformers are okay, but like I never really got into Transformers. I read a lot of these G.I. Joe comics from IDW though. Like I read a lot of Real American Hero. I didn't read all of it. I was reading Real American Hero at the end for about 2 or 3 years, but I don't know if Kirkman's going to do like they did in IDW. In 2009, they kind of like made their own continuity, and I think that's why he's starting. And I actually really liked those books for the beginning. They were really good. And I will stress again, I think I've said it. I said it a long time ago when we first began this podcast. Even if you just read this book as a standalone, which you probably should at this point, the G.I. Joe series from 2009 called Cobra is some of the best G.I. Joe comic books you will ever read. There are stakes. It's about Chuckles, and he goes undercover in Cobra. And you think Chuckles is the most goofy character ever. I'm telling you, that series is one of the best G.I. Joe series you will ever read. So one of the main things that I'm really looking forward to this too is like when IDW lost the rights, there's no place to read like G.I. Joe comics right now. And I would frequently I had the Comixology Unlimited thing, so I'd just be like, oh, I'll just read, a Real American Hero issue here or there. They're nowhere right now. So I'm hoping that Robert will get the rights and these things will be back up. And I love IDWs. I love Image stuff because Image stuff is always on sale. So next time those bad boys go on sale, I'm scooping them all up so I have them so I can read them even if they lose rights. So
I just have one more thing to say on my thoughts on this, unless you've got more.
I'm pretty pumped.
Is there more to this?
Like I said, no, I don't have the Void Rivals comic, so I don't know exactly how it's implemented, but we can report back on that when we both get it. I don't.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
My closing thoughts on this news. It's not playing.
Didn't play.
What is going on?
I mean, you can make the Starscream sound.
I guess never mind. It's not going to work. Forget it. I'm sorry.
Do you have a womp 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 sound? Womp 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 womp.
No sounds are playing right now. That's the problem here. We've got no sounds. I'm glad I'm paying for this service to record our podcast that does not work. No sounds.
All right. We moving on. We got it.
That sound worked. I'm glad we're being laughed at now. Okay, let me try this one more time. That was my final thought. I'm glad it took me playing a laugh track to get it to work.
I'm happy you're on board, though. I'm glad you're on board with the shared universe. I really thought you would be anti that, but no, that's great.
No, man. G.I. Joe and Transformers have always been in a shared universe.
Love it.
It's weirder when they're not.
All right.
Even when Marvel had the license, they crossed over. Marvel had both licenses for a while, and they crossed over there, too.
Point number 2. Did you hear that the Ultimate Comics line is being rebooted? It was kind of speculated, but really is.
I mean,
now.
I assumed as much with the whatever that
Ultimate Invasion thing or whatever.
Yeah,
the new book.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how Marvel explains this. Actually, I can wait. I don't care. I don't care at all about anything Marvel is doing.
Not even like an Ultimate Universe, like they can't dip you in with like an Ultimate Spider-Man book or something. Ultimate
Why?
Ghost Rider.
What do I
Just
need
to get
those
you
for?
something.
What do I need those for?
To hopefully get like a tight, cohesive universe that starts out kind of small and it's like 5 books. That's what we're always looking for. We can't get you with just like
But it's
5
Marvel.
books.
It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. They're just bringing it back so they can fold it into the 616 universe again.
That's true. You're not on board with the whole DC Omniverse. Just read the stories and make your own headcanon and everything matters and everything. No.
Don't care. I have a tight connected universe. It's the massive verse. I'm good.
All right. Well, I'm curious to see how this plays out. I'm not going to say I'm going to get all the titles. I'm interested.
I'm not going to get any of them.
I'm interested to see the ultimate invasion. I think it is. It's a 5-issue series. Super expensive, so I'll probably be reading them on Marvel Unlimited. Like the first one, I want to say is like $8, and all the subsequent issues are $5.99. So that's definitely just hurt his head, broke his brain.
It's like $32 before tax.
But like you don't even some people don't think about that, and it's like, yeah, these are like $6 comic books. Yeah, they're oversized, but who cares? I mean, it's like you said, that's $32. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how it goes because I like the Ultimate Universe because, in my opinion, that can be a place where you do really creative things and you make some derivative characters and you do that kind of stuff. I like my 616 a little bit more traditional, but like,
but they're not gonna if that's where they're gonna. It's not gonna matter, dude. They're just gonna do the same stuff over and over, man. Marvel does not care.
YouTube viewers, this is the face of a defeated comic book.
Yeah, I didn't have the energy to be upset about it, really.
He's legit apathetic. So this is the definition of apathy.
Yeah, no, I really don't care.
Okay.
I really don't care. I read my 2 or 3 Marvel books a month. I got Ghost Rider and Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange. I'm good there. I've been picking up Guardians, and I'm dropping that after the first arc.
Dude, when can you eat some crow? When can we schedule you to eat some crow live on the air?
For what reason?
Bro, this Ghost Rider book is like solicited for issue 20. I didn't think we were going to get 6.
Why do I
we're going to get like
crow?
8. Because you're like, we're going to get like 6 issues and it's going to get canceled.
I'm just trying to keep myself grounded.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the humble
and
approach.
Look what that did. Now I'm pleasantly surprised. Dude, they're crossing over the Wolverine now. We got a Wolverine crossover coming.
They're committed. I like it.
Yeah.
This is good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm like so far behind reading it, but I'm still buying it.
Hey, you got to keep buying it so they keep printing it. Otherwise they're going to stop
Someone's got to buy it.
Exactly.
Might as well be me.
Okay. Point number 3. We're doing good. Nice quick episode here. All right. I kind of want to give myself, but Dave also a victory lap. We're going to do a victory lap here a little bit.
Okay.
Can I read 2 quotes for you really quick? I'm trying to be better about not just reading things on the podcast, but I think these need to be taken in their full context.
Yeah.
Okay. This is in regards to Chris Hemsworth's comments about Thor Love and Thunder. So this was, I'm getting this from gamerrant.com is my reference, and this is the quote from the article. In a new GQ profile, Hemsworth opened up about the backlash Thor and Love and Thunder had received. I think we just had way too much fun. It just became way too silly, he said. It's always hard being in the center of it and having any real perspective. I love the process. It's always a ride. But you just don't know how people are going to respond. He shared that some of his biggest critics were not just professionals, but his son's own friends. It's a bunch of 8-year-olds critiquing my film. We thought this one had too much humor and the action was cool, but the VFX weren't, he said. I cringe and laugh equally about it. This one broke.
I love it. I love it. It sucks. That movie sucks. It sucks.
We need to get through quote number 2. I can't. You better have another sound effect for this one. Okay. This is great. Quote number 2. This is from Sir Anthony Hopkins via an article on GameSpot. I don't know if you saw what he said. After reading the script, Hopkins allegedly marked up several pages, scrawling NAR across them. In a previous interview with The New Yorker, he revealed what the acronym meant and where he got it from. NAR stands for No Acting Required, Hopkins says of the acronym. I try to apply it to everything I do. No acting required. On Thor, you have Chris Hemsworth, who looks like Thor. You have the director, like Kenneth Branagh, who is so certain of what he wants. Then they put me in armor, they shove a beard on me, and sit me on a throne, and I shout a bit.
Tell him, Anthony.
Dude.
I love it.
This vindicated everything that we said. I mean, I feel like we both felt similarly about Ragnarok. That was the first one, right? Ragnarok, we were like, the tone of the MCU is getting a little bit jokey. I don't know. And then Thor and Love and Thunder, like, we both saw it and we're like, yeah, no. And there was a lot of people that were like, oh no, like, you're just being all cynical and whatever. No, this is from the man's mouth. I want nothing more than to love the MCU. I really do.
Me too.
I want nothing more. But I know something when I see it, and I will get criticized for that, and that's perfectly fine with me. But like, I don't. I read these 2 articles, and I just thought of you immediately. I was like, dude, we have to. We don't do victory laps much, but we have to do a victory lap on this one because we both called it. And that Thor episode was one of our more popular episodes, so I don't think we're the only people in that boat. Like, other people felt the same way.
What's crazy to me is that there are people that I know personally that legitimately believe that Ragnarok is one of the best MCU movies. Like, it's in their top 5.
Ragnarok or Love and Thunder?
All-time MCU, Ragnarok.
That's insane. That's an insane take.
You know what was the final straw for me with Ragnarok? There was one line that was uttered that's when I knew all hope was lost. When they throw Thor into that battle arena.
Okay.
And Hulk comes out and then he goes, "Oh, I know him from work." Fucking shut up. So stupid. Please do not crack that joke right now. Like, I don't need you to make real world parallels in this fantasy action superhero movie where you are fighting the Hulk on an alien planet. Don't talk about how you guys work together at the Avengers. I don't need corny, dumb jokes. And that's what I knew.
I hope we can get it. I hope we can get it back, but I mean,
we can't because Dark World, which is one of probably the best Thor movie, is universally panned for being tonally too serious and disliked.
I think
it's a phenomenal movie.
I didn't think that movie was that bad. Malekith, right? It was like Malekith, right?
Yeah.
I thought that movie was fine. Like, a lot of
Dark
people
Elves.
I know hate it. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just thought we deserved a little bit of credit. So pat yourself on the back.
We do. Thank you for that.
One. Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm glad that all my hate, my consistent and tenacious hate, is finally paying off in some way. I don't know what that payoff is, but it feels like a payoff somehow. It feels like I've won.
The destruction of the most fun we've had at the movie theater in years. That's what's paying off. Some experiences we're never going to get ever again, but hey, it's okay.
That's very true.
It was on TV. One of those movies was on TV, and I'm like, man, these movies were so good. Like, I just need to. I almost text you like, dude, we need to like rewatch all these, but we're not doing that. So
I know you did it 2019. 2019. After I got laid off.
Yeah.
and I was like studying up to get my real estate license, I would just like I would just rewatch the MCU while I studied for the test and like learned and read and stuff. So I literally watched them in chronological order, starting with Iron Man and went all the way through Endgame.
That's how old I am, because I literally thought that was like last year. You're like 2019. Like, dude, that was like 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
no, it was almost 4 years ago.
That's awesome. All right. My last, well, I have another short one. This is also a very short one. My last news story is Injustice 3, and that there's a possibility that it is alive.
I love that. I love the Injustice games. They're
Okay.
so good.
So I literally put this on here more just to ask you questions about Injustice. So long story short, Ed Boon was being interviewed. This is per IGN. Ed Boon was being interviewed, and they had pretty much asked him, like, now that you're moving on to Mortal Kombat 1, which also looks like, I'm not a big Mortal Kombat game guy. That game looks phenomenal. But as they're kind of moving on to Mortal Kombat 1, rebooting that series, they pretty much asked Ed Boon, like, is this it? Have you, like, closed the door on the series for Injustice? And he was absolutely not at all. So the Injustice window is open. So my question is, as a comic book fan, you would pitch Injustice as something that we should, like, I have never played any of those games. So you would pitch that is something that we should do, that I should do.
Yes. 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 Dude, the story in those games is so good. You can just play it on easy and enjoy the story, and you will have a great time. It's like a 10-ish hour campaign.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
If I just play Injustice 2, will I get the vibe, or do I really need to play 1? Two's more readily available. That's why, like, 1, I might have to figure out. It might be on the like Xbox store or something. I don't know. That's the only thing.
You might want to check on the PlayStation library.
Yeah,
you have access to.
Okay, I will do that.
I think there might be a copy of the original Injustice in there.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll check and see if I can do that. So I'll definitely start with 1 and 2. So if I put it
even
on
the Injustice comics are incredible.
Yeah, you've
I
said
love
that.
Everything to do with Injustice.
Is there, so the Mortal Kombat never really stuck with me just because, like, the control scheme. If I put it on easy, Street Fighter has like a dad mode where you can do like one button things to do the specials. Is there anything like that in Injustice, or no? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Because that would be nice. Like,
maybe.
I would definitely. But me and crazy button combinations aren't always the best. But
it's not a terribly complicated game, and it's not terribly difficult either.
Okay, especially on easy. I'll definitely check that out, because I was watching some like YouTube videos of this, and I was like, this looks pretty cool. I should probably at least play through this to get the story context, and especially if it's on the old share plan.
One of the things that is in that game, it's called you can initiate what's called a clash, and depending on how much of a specific like meter you have built up, you can wager a certain amount of it with a button press when you do the clash to see like which character wins the clash.
Okay.
And like there's a sound that plays, then like run towards each other, and they're like face to face, and they're kind of like quipping back and forth.
Okay.
And a lot of those one-liners are really funny. I actually have a few of them that I really like queued up to play right now.
Okay.
So if you want to hear some of these like funny back and forths, maybe you won't appreciate as much as people that have actually played the game will, but these are, in my opinion, these are four of the funniest clashes that are in Injustice 2.
Damien despises you.
You can have him.
Gonna shove my fist up your...
It could use a polish.
I can go all night.
Promise?
Who's that?
Just wanna rub my face on that belly.
Not that kind of cat.
That's pretty funny. All right, that sold it. I need to play it.
There's way more than that. Every character pairing, like fight that you could make, has a unique clash, like quip back and forth. Some of them get reused, like the Joker saying that it could use a good polish. He uses that in a couple different clashes, but they're for the most part pretty unique.
That's because like it seems like in Mortal Kombat I was watching
exactly
that.
like Mortal Kombat.
Is that what that is? You select the character and they come out and I was like watching some of those lines that they were saying to each other, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. All right, man. That's so. There was one other thing. Is there like when you do like story or one of the modes? Is there like gear you level up on to make your guy better?
That's Injustice 2, and you don't need to do that.
I love a good gear score, but I was just curious. I was like, oh, we got some like
for playing the story mode. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay, good stuff.
You can do it, but it's not going to make a difference.
Good stuff.
That was actually when it came out. A lot of people were really upset about that.
Oh, I could see why.
It's so hard to get the higher level gear, and it's like you got to buy packs to get it, and the grind to get it all for free is just not. It wasn't a good thing that Warner Brothers did.
All right.
And it doesn't really change the look of your character at all either. Like you equip them, but you still look the same.
That was like that Marvel's Avengers game. Like you had all these interesting gear things, and your character was just like the same. It changed nothing, so it was like really pointless. But well, I have one other just updated news thing that we talked about, I think, on our last episode. Just about the audio and Across the Spider-Verse. If you haven't seen the movie, please check out our episode. It was a very good, engaging conversation where Dave deconstructed the film, and I really enjoyed it.
Thanks.
But the audio is apparently not as widespread as we think. It's only in a handful of theaters. So,
well, then I'm extremely unlucky. The fuck.
That's true. You experienced the issues. So yeah, you were in one of the handful of theaters that were affected. So
it's obnoxious.
That's it, man. That's my 5 topics with Dave.
Well,
rapid fire.
Kind of ended on a downer.
As most things do, but it's okay.
We were on an upswing with all that Injustice talk and the.
I should have saved the Thor stuff for the end. That would have that would have ended us on a high note.
That's okay. You didn't know I was going to come with sound effects.
I didn't know you were prepared. This is something here.
I'm really mad about the Cobra Law thing not playing.
You got it though. You got it.
And then I had a Transformers transform sound queued up. That thing, that didn't work. It's broken.
It just didn't.
I do want one more of these though. Matt and I have been saying that to each other back and forth for probably 20 years. That is one of our. It's not really an inside joke because we just think it's funny, but that's one of the Matt and Dave jokes that has withstood the test of time. It never gets old. It's never not funny. So I'm so happy that we're now at a point in our friendship where I can play that while we record our comic book podcast together. It's a very good time and a fun thing for me to experience.
I love it.
For those of you that listen or watch this episode or this podcast regularly, if you want more of this too, you're going to have to share the podcast. Tell somebody about us. Subscribe to it, interact with it. Just interact with the episode in some way, shape, or form. It would be a huge help to us. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handles are in the description of this audio or video episode. We'll follow you back. We'll talk about comics. I tweeted something yesterday that really got my juices flowing. I don't know what it is. I've got some ideas, but I don't want to speak them into the universe just yet and then end up being horribly wrong and then mocked because of it. So I'm going to keep it to myself. But if you want to know what I was saying or thinking, maybe head over to Twitter. We'll be back in a week with something. TBD on what that is. But until then, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Peace.